私はね、ヤモリがどんな人
何を怒ってるかちゃんと言わないとわからないでしょ。え？なるほど。
A boy who is fed up with his daily life ends up falling in love with a vampire. Hello and welcome back to our channel Ice Guy. Today we are going to do a recap of the anime series called Call of the Night. Episode 1, Kuyamori steps out of his room at night to aimlessly walk around the city. Lately, he has been frustrated by the lack of meaning in his daily life and has started pushing people away. When his classmate proposed to Ku, he did not think twice before rejecting her romantic advances. Bullied by some of the girl's friends, Ku continued to argue that he never understood if there was any point in liking or not liking someone. Ku's strange nihilistic worldview has started isolating him from the people he knew. Therefore, he frantically searched for some meaning as he walked under the stars, hoping that it would give him some semblance of peace. When his mind is distracted by the constant buzzing of his phone, he realizes that people are discussing alcohol and partying in different group chats. Ku, who has not drunk in the past, decides to do it when he spots a vending machine. However, just when the king comes out, a mysterious girl suddenly arrives next to him. Ku is momentarily taken aback and claims that he picked the wrong can, afraid that he may get arrested for trying to drink despite being a teenager. However, the mysterious girl claims that she does not plan on reporting him to the cops. She goes on to question him about insomnia and asks why do people stay awake at night. Ku argues that people usually have some plans that keep them up, but the girl disagrees. She claims that it is people's failure to live to their fullest during the day that stops them from sleeping. She even proves her point by talking to 3 drunk men at the bus station. As the duo explores the city under the stars, Ku begins to feel a bit better, finally getting over thoughts of the uninteresting daily life that has become too hard to bear for him. His acquaintance later takes Ku to her apartment, much to his surprise. Once they are in, she asks him to share the bed with her, promising to fix his sleeplessness. Although Ku is a bit tense, he decides to pretend to sleep so that he can leave as soon as he gets the opportunity.
寝た？起きてんじゃないの？
However, Ku does not realize that his new acquaintance is wide awake, and when she feels that he is fast asleep, she bites his neck and starts drinking his blood. When Ku suddenly sits straight up, she argues that it was just a fly, but the blood on her lips says otherwise. When confronted by Ku, she confesses that she is a vampire. After confessing that she is a vampire, Ku's acquaintance finally introduces herself as Nazuna Nanakusa. She argues that she just wanted to drink some of his blood and did not intend to harm him in any way. Ku is initially relieved to learn that he won't be turning into a vampire anytime soon. However, he realizes that the time spent with Nazuna is the one rare thing that has made him excited in a long time. He does not wish to return to his ordinary life where he has to keep up appearances in front of his family and classmates just to get along with them. Episode 2. After spending a life-changing night with Nazuna, which finally gives Ku some purpose, he steps out of his home the following night as well in the hope of doing something more adventurous again. He finds his new friends waiting for him in the playground. As the duo begins discussing drinking blood, Nazuna points out that it is just like eating food. However, there is one critical difference. Under appropriate conditions, a vampire can produce offspring by drinking someone's blood, which is the only way they grow in numbers. Nazuna then goes on to explain that the entire process of drinking blood is therefore not limited to eating but is also copulation for the vampires in a way. Ku asks Nazuna what she expected from him for turning him into a vampire, to which she casually mentions wanting to have a taste of his blood again. However, when her new friend just casually exposes his neck, she grows pretty upset as it is naturally too tough for her to resist his blood. Ku constantly tells himself that he needs to fall in love with her if he hopes to become like her. The following day, he had to look for quite some time before he could finally find Nazuna. When he asks where she has been, Nazuna mentions that she was just drinking someone's blood. Ku is taken aback by what he hears and calls her names. When Nazuna mentions that it's not a big deal, Ku reminds her that she just explained yesterday how drinking blood was like copulating for the vampires. Nazuna continues to argue that it's not a big deal as vampires usually copulate with anyone. Ku does not wish to discuss the matter any further and asks for her phone number. Nazuna asks whether he uses Line, to which Ku replies in the negative. She then explains that she does not even have a phone, much to Ku's surprise. Nazuna then confesses that she just wanted to use the Line phrase and then takes Ku to her apartment, where she finds an old phone which does not even appear to be working anymore. As they discuss a few things.
なんすか？それ。
どこ？でもでかい方がかっけえじゃん。
Nazuna invites Ku to sleep next to her. When her new friend looks upset, Nazuna immediately realizes what's bothering him. She explains that she did not drink anyone's blood earlier that evening and only said what she said because she felt embarrassed by the fact that she was also looking for him. Ku appears to feel a bit better after her confession and exposes his neck so that Nazuna can drink his blood. Although Nazuna sleeps sometime later, Ku can't help but be overwhelmed by countless thoughts. The next night he brings a transceiver for her friend so that they can stay in touch with each other. After talking for a while through it, the duo goes to the terrace of Ku's school, where Nazuna drinks his blood again. The morning after spending some quality time with Nazuna, Ku heads home. That's when one of the transceivers that is not connected to Nazuna suddenly lights up. Since the transceiver that could be used to call on this one has been missing for a few years, Ku is confused about how someone can be contacting him through it. But before he could begin to understand anything, he is called from behind by Akira Asai. Episode 3. As Ku and Nazuna sit on the top of a high-rise building one night, she asks him whether he has a friend. To her surprise, Ku does not even really understand at what point people who know each other could technically be called friends. Therefore, Nazuna figures out that he probably never made any friends his entire life, which explains his aloof and introverted nature. Those memories suddenly rush to his mind when Ku is called from behind by his childhood friend Akira as he is going back home after spending the entire night roaming around the city with Nazuna. He is shocked at her wearing the transceiver that he has once left in his apartment complex with the hope that he will finally make a friend. However, Akira claims that he actually gave it to her. What Ku did not realize was that he had left the transceiver in Akira's mailbox not knowing that it belonged to her. She had seen him leaving it behind and assumed that he wanted to give it to her, which was not the case.
心配してたんだよ。友達だから。
どっち？
ヤモリ
But he refrained from telling her the truth. Akira reminded her of their childhood days when she actually approached him while he was observing the ants all by himself. It was on that day in the playground that the two kids became friends, although they have not been that much in touch for quite a while despite living in the same apartment complex. It turns out that Akira likes to wake up early in the morning and go out for a long walk wearing the school dress. The two friends decide to meet every day in the morning from then onwards. As soon as Ku is alone, he contacts Nazuna through the transceiver to tell her that he actually has a friend. The following night, Nazuna and Ku spend the night in the apartment as they usually do. But when Ku is about to leave, Nazuna argues that they still have a lot of time. However, when she finds out that Ku is going early to meet his friend, she is taken aback. While Nazuna and Ku are sitting together in the park and talking about mundane affairs, she observes them from the other end hiding behind a tree. Although he does not expect it, Nazuna suddenly walks toward them looking quite pissed. Ku fears the worst but takes a sigh of relief when she just casually jokes about them having an affair. Meanwhile, Akira is confused. Nazuna does not try to hide her relationship with Ku and tells her that they just have a physical relationship. Although Ku panics, nothing could have prepared him for what she does afterward. After spying on Ku and Akira for a while, Nazuna not only decides to talk to them but is uncomfortably honest about his relationship with the former. Although she has told Akira that they have a physical affair only as of now, Nazuna does not stop there. She hugs Ku right in front of his friend and does not hesitate in drinking his blood. Akira is shocked for a moment and tries to gather her thoughts when she sees the teeth marks on Ku's neck. There is no doubt that Nazuna is a vampire. Trio head to a cafe where Nazuna confirms Akira's suspicion and both of them finally introduce each other. As Akira requests Ku to come to school again and argues that she feels better when he is around, Nazuna stares blankly at the two friends. At that moment, something bothers her and she just leaves without any explanation. Ku hands over the bill money to Akira and runs after her. Unfortunately, Nazuna is not interested to talk to him at all. She flies off, while Ku begins to look for her everywhere. He accidentally trips and hurts his mouth while climbing some stairs and ends up sitting under the stars. Ku then receives a call on the transceiver from Nazuna, who shows up in front of him moments afterward. Although he has done nothing wrong, Ku still apologizes to her knowing that she is angry for some reason. Nazuna reassures him that everything is alright between them and even ends up kissing him on the lips to drink the blood on his mouth.
アーナチはこれくらいにしといてやるよ。
ナズナちゃん。
Episode 4. Yamori pondered about what happened previously after witnessing a couple kissing nearby. He started assuming that he had fallen for Nazuna. After finding him, she drank his blood, but he didn't transform. So Nazuna later explained that he had confused love with lust. Later they revealed it was their first kiss, making Nazuna believe that friends could kiss each other. The following night, Yamori asked Akira to join him at Nazuna's apartment. They all played video games, and Nazuna offered kisses to the person who could beat her. An agitated Akira learned about Nazuna and Yamori's kiss and talked out with him that he couldn't fall in love with a vampire. But Nazuna explained that he didn't like her yet. Later they played a dating sim and all lay down to sleep in the same bed. But Akira felt weird about this. But Nazuna explained things to her, and Yamori revealed how he could turn into a vampire after falling in love with Nazuna. After Nazuna fell asleep, Akira told him that they could be friends even after he became a vampire and would continue to try to make his return to school. And that's all for today, guys. If you liked the recap and want more summaries like this, consider subscribing to our channel.